So I said, okay, what was the one case that really stands out in your mind? And he said he went to this case and it was a residential property. So there was a family living there. He went with a priest, so he's supposed to be the like subject matter expert here. He's going with this priest and they begin the minor rite. And Bill said he felt slammed in the chest and he went flying across the room.
Oh my gosh.
He said it was probably like 30 feet he flew.
Whoa.
And he said it just felt like he got like slammed.
He's like a tall guy too.
He's a big guy. Yeah. And so he flew. And then right after that, boom, the priest gets smacked from behind, flies and goes on top of him.
I hate that.
It is terrifying.
Did he say what happened after that?
I think I was so scared. I think I was like,
he's like, so anyway.
He's like, well, yeah, you're doing great with the podcast.
Oh my gosh. Welcome to the You Two Scare Me podcast. We're your hosts. I'm Felice.
And I'm Andi. And we are coming to you from Key West, Florida.
Let's see. We had a good week. We got a care package from the Dog Discoveries podcast, our friends over there.
Thank you.
And they sent us, this is one shirt. I don't know if you can see it. It says, spoiler, there's no basement in the Alamo.
That's a Pee Wee Herman reference.
Pee-wee's Big Adventure, one of our greatest, most favorite movies ever. So
yes, we each got one of those shirts, and I should have worn mine. You didn't tell me. God,
sorry.
Been twinning.
We were kind of pulling it together at the last second today.
Shocker. And then we got another one,
another Pee-wee shirt,
and some moonshine.
Mm-hmm. Moonshine and some stickers
and a pin. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So thanks, you guys. We love you. That was so fun getting that, and also so fun doing your show. If you haven't listened to our episode, go listen to it, and also listen to all their episodes. They're amazing.
Yeah. And they were so fun to work with and easy to work with too.
Yeah. Yes. So we'll have to have them on our show sometime. We got to organize it.
Yeah. We have to get our lives together here a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, I think we're in that little press. This time of the school year as teachers is very, very busy. Andy, you guys are probably preparing for testing. I'm doing school musical and all of the grade level shows, and our middle school rock band has a show coming up. We got it on the calendar. So it's very busy right now. So we're just, we're slamming out our podcast,
grinding,
but also doing all the other things too.
Yes.
We also had a cool experience last weekend.
Oh yeah.
We were at the Key West Artisan Market.
Maybe you saw it on our socials.
Yes. I was there for my other third gig. My other hustle. My husband and I have a company called Chiguana. You should check us out. Chiguana.com. Merciless plug. But so we sell there on the weekends, on Sundays. And right across from our booth was, guess who? None other than
David Sloan.
David Sloan. Good friend to the one and only Robert, the doll. Robert. And do you want to tell who was with him?
Yes. And also with him was the Bill Slevin, who is a renowned paranormal investigator and demonologist. He also has published several books, just like David Sloan has. Mm-hmm. And he has been in this sort of paranormal business for 30 some years. He has such a wealth of knowledge, and we spent some time talking to him and getting to know him, and we are hoping to have him on the podcast at some point.
Yes.
Which I am beyond excited for.
He's so nice. Super, super nice. And also David said he would come on our podcast, and we're talking about some other collabs with David.
Yeah, we're super duper excited.
Yes.
And also what I was so excited about is David said, he was like, wow, I'm so happy for you guys, and I'm proud of you and the work you're doing on the podcast, and I love all the stuff you do on social media, and I love watching and listening. And we were like, little old us.
Yeah, that means so much. Feedback from people in the field, whatever field you're in. When you get a little notice, a little happy notice, it feels so good. So
yeah,
thank you guys. It was lovely chatting, and they have millions and billions of books and all kinds of things out there.
Yeah.
So look at their websites, both of them.
Look at this one that I got. I don't even know if I showed you this one. I got this one from Bill, and it's a paranormal investigation journal and case log.
Oh, that's cool.
And so it's really, really cool because, well, one, it can help keep us organized. But two,
Which we need, to be honest.
wow. But two, like, look, it has checklists like for the type of evidence you captured, the equipment
cool.
you used. It even has stuff like moon phases in and like all kind of things, so
That's
you can
cool.
compare if you go to different locations and things like that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I got a copy of his autobiography. Also, I got a book from David. I got a couple of them, but it is, oh gosh, I wish I could think of the exact title of it, but it's like The Night Before Christmas, but with Robert the Doll. It's a children's book. It's so
my
cute.
gosh.
Yeah, it's super cute. I'm going to, hold on.
It was the night before Christmas and all through the fort.
Oh, The Christmas Curse of Robert the Doll. That's the name of it. And it's super cute. Look at the cover.
Oh my gosh. You should, you
He's
know what?
there with all these little zombie looking elves.
We'll have to like do a reading of it.
Over
For-
Christmas.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's a great idea. So that's the big hubbub in town here.
Yeah, that was really exciting. And then, we also did some other spooky related things that we'll talk about at a different time.
Yes, we have a lot to tell you.
Lots of things are rolling and in the works. And
Yes.
we're just so excited.
Yeah. Well, if this is your first time tuning in, hey there. We're just two spooky girls who love to hear and tell stories about the paranormal, the spiritual, the creepy, and the unusual.
But don't worry, we respect the forces that make things go bump in the night, and we know to keep a safe distance.
That's right. We are fully aware that we don't know anything or really understand what's happening with any of this stuff.
That's accurate. We make sure to laugh to keep it light as we work our way through the strange and unusual. We hope to bring you stories that make you question and give you a chill.
A quick warning before we begin. This podcast is for entertainment purposes only. Our tales are drawn from folklore, history, and reported experiences, but we don't claim them as fact. Some stories may include sensitive topics, so listener discretion is advised.
Dive into the shadows with us as we bring you haunting tales in this episode of the You Two Scare Me podcast.
Shall we dive in? If you talk to someone who grew up in rural Ireland, especially someone older, you'll notice something interesting. They won't necessarily say they believe in ghosts. They might laugh at the idea, shrug, roll their eyes a little, and then they'll tell you about the time their uncle saw his own brother walking down that lane hours after he had died.
Oh, wow.
Or the night the horses in the field went silent and someone heard wheels on the road, but there was no carriage. Or the time that they heard the banshee. Irish folklore isn't always about monsters. It's about patterns. It's about warnings. It's about the feeling that the world is layered and sometimes the layers shift. Tonight, Irish folklore. Not fairies, not leprechauns, not vampires, not werewolves. We will get to all of those later. We're talking about the quiet things that brush up against ordinary life. Let's start with something a little unsettling. The fetch.
That's so fetch.
Let's stop trying to make fetch happen. In Irish tradition, there's a phenomenon known as the fetch, a double of a living person seen shortly before their death.
Oh.
It isn't a ghost in the traditional sense. It's not the spirit of someone who has already passed. It's the image of someone still alive.
Weird.
And when it appears, it is usually not good. There are multiple recorded accounts, especially in Anglo-Irish folklore collections, describing people seeing a relative enter a room, walk down a path, or pass by a window, only to later learn that that person had died or was about to die at that exact time.
Weird. So it's not quite a doppelganger. It's,
Right.
Oh, so weird.
It's
Okay.
just like a image or something. In some traditions, seeing someone's double at night was considered a death omen. If seen during the day, it could mean long life, but nighttime appearances carried weight. What's chilling about fetch sightings is how calm the descriptions often are. What's so funny?
Fetch.
Fetch. I like it. I was like, I'm doing that one. Fetch.
I'm sorry.
That's so fetch.
It's so fetch. The early 2000s me is just really excited
I
about
know. It's like a total Mean Girl reference in our like spooky lore.
Yeah.
There's no dramatic music, no glowing outline, just I saw him. and then later he had passed at that hour.
Weird.
Some stories describe a person greeting someone who doesn't respond. Others describe watching someone enter the house silently, only to realize no one is there. In Waterford in the 18th century, Lady Beresford, I guess that's how you say it, reportedly, by the way, I just got corrected on how I pronounced the Menger Hotel in our San Antonio episode. I said Menger, and that was wrong, and I apologize. It's Menger. Duly noted. So we're all clear now. So if you notice that we say something wrong, feel free to let us know. We'll correct it. We stand corrected. Okay. Anyway, in Waterford in the 18th century, Lady Beresford reportedly saw the double of her husband standing at the foot of her bed while he was actually miles away. Later that same day, she received word that he had died. It's weird, right?
Well, very weird.
A story from near Enniskillen relays an elderly man hearing repeated knocks at his door late at night and seeing what looked like his son through the window, only for this figure to vanish, with news arriving the next morning that his son had died of a fever.
Oh.
The fetch feels less like a haunting and more like misalignment, as if for a moment the boundary between body and spirit loosened. So it's almost like what we talked about with the approaching death experiences, but it instead of people coming to visit the person that's dying, it's like that dying person went out and
Like almost
did
like
some
a
visits.
goodbye, but like,
Yeah,
but they're not saying goodbye. They're just
kind of there.
weird.
Interesting, right? Ireland has always had a way of accepting that the soul might move slightly ahead of the body. It's not framed as horror, it's framed as knowledge. So it's not necessarily like a spooky thing. It's just, sometimes this happens. It's fetch. It's so fetch.
So fetch.
Now imagine it's late at night. You're in a rural Irish cottage. The roads are narrow. Stone walls line the fields. The wind moves through the grass. In the distance, you think you see the outline of something not of this era. This scene reminds me of what Patrick described when he heard the banshee, sitting on that stone wall.
I'm getting nervous.
I'm about to say a word that's an Irish word, and I don't speak Irish, so I apologize in advance. The Cóiste Bodhar, often translated as the silent coach or deaf carriage, not death carriage, but deaf, like can't
With a
hear. With a yeah. Is a phantom death carriage said to travel Irish roads before someone dies. Witnesses describe a dark carriage, horses that make no sound, wheels that move without the usual rhythm, and a stillness in the air before it passes. That was a mouthful.
That was very good.
One tale describes a black coach with 6 headless black horses alongside a man's cart. Witnesses reported the phantom's presence before news of a nearby sudden death. In a rural setting, sound carries hooves, wood, gravel, wind. So when something moves without sound, it doesn't feel mechanical, it feels intentional. Sometimes, though, the phantom carriage is reportedly heard but not seen. Thomas Johnson Westrop's A Folklore Survey of County Clare from the early 1900s includes an account where a servant reportedly heard the rumbling of wheels late at night along the lane to Innistaman House, with no carriage visible. And the next day, Sir Admiral Burton McNamara died in London. Some folklore suggests the carriage collects souls. Others say it simply marks the approach of death.
Do you think it'd be scarier to see something, to see it with no sound, or to hear it and not see it?
I think it would be scarier to see it.
Me too.
Yeah. Because if you hear it, you could be like, oh, I thought I heard something. But you can't. If you see something, it's hard to be like, oh, I thought I saw something.
Seeing is believing.
That's what they say. It's not described as malicious, but rather inevitable. It's coming. You can't do anything about it. It's coming for you. Ireland has a long history of what's often called second sight, the ability to perceive future events, particularly death. In some regions, certain families were believed to carry this ability. So it's like a family hereditary thing.
Oh, you have to ask Patrick if he has that.
I'll ask him. I guarantee he's going to say no, but I'll ask him.
And then he'll be like, actually, there was that one time.
He's like, that one time when I heard the banshee. They might dream of funerals before someone passes. They might see water spilling in unusual patterns, and they might sense a presence. Death omens in Irish folklore are subtle but persistent. It could be a bird entering the house unexpectedly, a candle going out without a draft, a ticking sound in the wall, spooky, or a sudden unexplained knock. Hate that one. Whoa, that one was explained. I saw that one coming. In a Donegal account collected in the early 20th century, one woman's grandmother heard a series of knocks on the door 2 nights before her grandfather died. None of these alone would cause panic, but in the right context, they were taken seriously. Mm-hmm. But we can't talk about Irish folklore without talking about luck, obviously. If you grow up in Ireland or even around Irish grandparents, you learn something quickly. Luck is real, it moves and it shifts, it can be bruised and it can be offended. It can slip out from under you if you're careless. You have to take good care of your luck.
Okay. How do you bruise luck?
Oh, you'll find out. You're going to find out. That idea isn't dramatic or theatrical. It isn't something people sit down and declare in big mystical language. It shows up in small corrections, the quick blessing, the hesitation before cutting down a tree, the way someone reacts when you admire their child just a little too enthusiastically. There's a word for those small corrections, pishog or pishog.
Oh, okay.
Pishog.
I've heard of this.
Yeah. It gets translated loosely as superstition, but that word feels a little bit flimsy. A pishog isn't just a belief, it's a reflex, a quiet rule you follow because someone before you followed it, and someone before them followed it, and before and before. Mm-hmm. And because not following it feels like tempting fate. In the 1930s, school children across Ireland were asked to collect local folklore from their families. I love that.
Yeah,
Collecting stories from your family. The result is the Irish Schools Folklore Collection. Thousands of handwritten accounts of customs, warnings, cures, and stories.
Oh, so
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
When you read through them, you notice something immediately. The tone is steady, calm, practical. People are not telling ghost stories for entertainment. They're recording how things were done. And pishoga, that's like plural of pishog, are everywhere in those pages. First one is the evil eye. One of the beliefs that shows up again and again in Irish folklore, and one that can be surprisingly hard to wrap your head around, is the evil eye. In the Irish language, it literally means the bad eye. At first glance, it sounds dramatic. It sounds like something out of a fantasy novel. But when you really break it down, the belief is much more subtle and much more human. At its core, the evil eye is the idea that a person's gaze can cause harm. Not because they're casting a spell or trying to curse you, but because attention, especially attention mixed with envy, carries weight.
Ooh.
In traditional Irish communities, that weight mattered. Resources were fragile. Livestock meant survival. Butter and milk weren't luxuries, they were stability. Children were vulnerable. So when something went wrong, like when a healthy cow suddenly stopped producing milk, or a churn wouldn't yield butter, or a baby who had been thriving became restless and ill, people looked for a cause. Mm-hmm. And if the change happened right after someone had admired that cow or that butter or that child a little too intensely, the connection felt obvious.
Right.
They knew it was like they were jinxed a little bit because somebody was admiring it. What's important here is that the person with the evil eye wasn't always considered malicious. In many accounts, they didn't even know they had it. Dang it. Some people were simply said to have a strong eye. Their look carried force. Their admiration landed heavily. It might have been envy or intensity. It might have just been personality. They're just like a strong personality with a strong eye. But if misfortune followed their attention often enough, the pattern stuck. So it's like, maybe it's like that lady in the cottage at the edge of the woods.
Aww,
you know?
that poor lady.
I know. This is where the protective customs come in. If someone complimented a baby, especially a newborn, it was common to immediately follow that praise with a blessing. God bless him, God bless her. In some regions, a person might likely spit after giving a compliment. That detail can sound shocking to modern ears. Don't spit around our tiny baby.
Get your germs out of here.
Please.
They're not spitting on the baby. Let's just be clear about that. It's like
nearby.
Over to
but
the
if
side.
someone was spitting by my baby, I'd be like, what is going on? But it wasn't disrespect. It was grounding. It neutralized the admiration. And it was a way of saying, I admire this, but I claim no part of it. I don't take from it. So it was spiritual insurance.
Oh.
So I like your baby, but I get it. It's yours.
Yeah, you keep it.
The fear wasn't that someone would shoot harm from their eyes like a weapon. The fear was that unbalanced attention could tip something fragile. And in a small rural community where everyone saw everyone else's property, envy was inevitable. Of course, right? Like if you're in a small world and you're like, man, that's a cool cow.
Love that cow so much.
That cow looks so fat and delicious.
Gosh,
You know?
that cow is so fetch.
So fetch. Stop trying to make fetch happen. The evil eye gave people a framework for managing that tension without directly accusing anyone. So they could be like, oh, something happened to my beautiful cow. And they're like, ooh, it must be the evil eye. Mm-hmm. When you zoom out, you realize this belief isn't uniquely Irish. You've heard of it before.
Yeah.
Versions of the evil eye exist across the Mediterranean, the Middle East, North Africa, Latin America, and parts of Asia. That consistency tells you something. In tight communities where survival depends on shared resources and social harmony, the idea that jealousy can cause harm shows up naturally. Obviously, I mean, and also jealousy does cause actual harm sometimes too.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so it's a valid fear, I think, you know.
Can I tell you a story?
Yeah, do it.
My brother, who, hey Mike, I know you listen.
Hey Mike.
Remember he sent me the squonk mug.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And so he actually does listen, which I so appreciate because this is not necessarily his genre of entertainment.
There you go, Mike. You're a good big brother.
Yeah, thanks. So one of his employees before gave him an evil eye bracelet, and he didn't really know anything about it, but she told him, you should wear this. So he just started wearing it, you know, and whatever. And she told him, you know, it's for protection and this kind of thing. So he wore it all the time, you know, without necessarily investing a lot of belief into the idea behind it. And then one day it broke, and the eye was the only bead that popped off. Like that's where it broke at.
Oh, okay.
Because it was like a beaded bracelet, but that was the one that went.
Yeah.
And I was like, what was happening at that time? He's like, I don't know, you know, but he's like, it was really weird though, because that's the only place where the thing was broken. And I was like, well, I think it served its purpose.
Oh, really? I'd be looking for that bead. I'd be sticking that thing right back on.
No, I think that's the whole thing though. Oh. You know, it's like they say that with
you need it when you need it.
Yeah, with some of those kinds of like jewelry that you wear for protection or crystals or things like that. When they serve their purpose, they might become cloudy or broken.
Then you don't need them anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what they say about jade jewelry in like Asian cultures too. If you have a jade bracelet or a jade ring, you're supposed to wear it until it breaks, until it's done.
Isn't jade for fortune?
I actually don't know. I think so, but I don't know.
Anyway, isn't that interesting though?
Yeah.
Kind of weird.
Yeah, it is kind of weird. Is the evil eye jewelry like that you have, is that to protect you from other people having the evil eye against you?
It's
That's
to protect against like negative energy. I actually have it on the wrong wrist right now. When you said that, I just was thinking about it because
you better switch.
I know I better.
Really fast.
But like the hand that like the side that you wear it on, one is like what you bring in and one is what you give out, you know? And so it's supposed to protect against negativity coming in.
Oh, but so are you sending negativity out?
Maybe I haven't been. That's why everybody keeps like coming and talking to me and asking me for things. Gosh.
No, that's you being a mom and a wife. Sorry to break it to you. Anyway, the evil eye becomes a way to explain sudden misfortune and release social pressure without confrontation. So you can be like mad about it, but you're like, oh, this was the evil eye. You don't have to say anything. In Ireland, the evil eye wasn't necessarily separated from the spiritual world either. It existed in that same layered reality as other folklore. Not quite ghost, not quite curse, not quite coincidence. It lives in the space where attention feels heavy. It's that attention piece in Ireland, which, you know, I think is probably has to do with social norms of politeness and things like that too.
Well, I think too, you know, at least when I think of most of Ireland, it's not really like industrial, like it's more rural, right?
Yeah.
So I think that typically the people who are living there are going to be like hardworking, more blue collar. You know, they're not looking for attention of any sort. You know,
they're just doing
staying in their lane,
doing their thing. Yeah.
And so attention might be very uncomfortable.
Yeah, it can feel sharp. where someone says, don't jinx it, and everyone instinctively understands what that means. You know?
Yeah.
You have something good and you don't want to mess it up, right?
Right. Yeah.
Maybe that's the easiest modern comparison. When someone says don't jinx it, they're acknowledging that attention affects outcome, that speaking something too confidently might somehow unravel it. The evil eye is the old world version of that instinct. It's the belief that being seen, really seen, can make something vulnerable. When you hear about the evil eye in Irish folklore, it's about social energy and the fragility of luck. It's about the uneasy awareness that admiration and envy can look very similar. And sometimes in a world without medical explanations or scientific language, that was enough to explain why things went wrong. So it wasn't that your baby got the plague. It
must have been the evil eye.
It was the evil eye. Eek. Once you understand it that way, it stops sounding like fantasy and starts sounding deeply, almost uncomfortably human. Layered into all this are the Pishoga, the everyday superstitions that shape behavior. So here are some. Spilling salt required correction. Seeing a lone magpie demanded acknowledgement. Turning your coat inside out could reset your path if you were lost that night.
Oh,
Have you heard that?
Well, no. Well, it made me think of, during like sports things, people turn their hats inside out, like rally caps. They turn it inside out to try to reset
turn it around.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I think in sports there's so many superstitions.
But that's interesting. Okay.
On May Day, people guarded their butter and milk from luck stealing. It was believed prosperity can be transferred spiritually through small acts before dawn. These weren't fairy tales told for entertainment. They were practical instructions in a world where misfortune was common and resources were fragile. Even today, you'll find people who won't cut down certain trees, they won't move certain stones, they won't walk alone in particular fields after dark. Not because they expect a monster, but maybe we might hear about some monsters later this month. But because the land remembers. What separates Irish folklore from some other traditions is its restraint. A future glimpsed at a crossroads, a carriage that doesn't make a sound, double seen at dusk, a small correction made with salt. And when you step back, you realize something. Irish folklore is all about balance. It's relational. How you move through the world matters. Careless moves carry weight, but respect steadies things.
Oh, I love that.
Which I think it's true. If you are intentional, you are going to have a better outcome, no matter what you believe,
Yeah. But I think a lot of people could learn a lot from those words, right? Like, the way you move through the world matters.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, yes. That mindset hasn't vanished. It lingers. Even in people who say they don't believe in any of it. It survives because it never demanded belief. It only asked you to pay attention.
Oh,
nice, right? It's a little intro to our month of March where we're going to talk all about Ireland, and we are going to get into some more woo-woo stuff, some more spooky stuff, but I thought that it would be good to just dip our toe into some folklore, just like a real basis of Irish folklore. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Did you grow up with any sort of like superstitions or anything like that?
We would always, I don't know if this was just like a kid thing, like if I just heard it like a little urban legend or whatever from kids, but if we passed the cemetery, we'd always hold our breath.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know, like just the main ones, like don't walk under a ladder,
Right.
You get 7 years of bad luck if you break a mirror.
Yeah.
But nothing came from anything really specific. It wasn't like our grandma was telling us that, How about you?
I wish I could remember. I know that my mom's mom was very superstitious and did a lot of things that she brought with her from the old country.
Old country. Yeah.
And so I'll have to ask her what some of them are, because I feel like she would do, like, if somebody was sick, she would do like
oh really, like a little spit thing.
Yeah, like I think it was like 3, or something like that. And then there were a couple of things, like she would make them drink when they were sick or whatever. I don't know if this was just me being like weirdo Andi when she was a kid reading all these spooky things.
Hi.
And so I don't remember if I read this or if this was something that was like a thing, but it was like spill salt. I would always like toss it over
your shoulder. Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm going to have to ask my mom some of those, because I know that was very much a thing in Eastern Europe.
Sure. Yeah.
And so, I'll find out, let you know.
And those things are passed down orally. You know, it's not like there's you get a handbook.
Like a guidebook. Yeah.
Handbook.
Let me see. Felice looked at me weird.
I'm like, it's my strong eye.
I switched it to the right wrist, so now it's going to protect me.
Good. All right.
Are you ready for Somebody Told Me?
Yes, I am. Let's go.
Okay. So earlier we mentioned how we met Bill Slevin, who is, just in case you missed it, a renowned paranormal investigator, an author, and he's actually a doctor of parapsychology, which is really cool. So he is a professional, right? Wow. And on top of all of that, he is a demonologist. So this is where Felice gets really scared.
I don't like it. Okay.
And I also get scared too.
Okay.
So a demonologist is somebody who is considered an expert in demons. So they do research, historical research, and are supposed to become familiar with these entities, right? Okay. They're supposed to be named ones and all of this. And so different things are associated with those entities. I'm going to say, because I get scared saying.
Yeah, I don't like to say
I like saying demons. Okay. So anyway, the whole idea is that they bring this wealth of knowledge and research and things with them when they come to these cases. And that's what Bill does. So at the market, this is a conversation we have at like 2 p.m.
It's
in the
so
blazing hot sun. I got a giant sunburn on my back during the course of this conversation. And I asked him a few questions like, what's his favorite tool for investigating, things like that. And then, as we mentioned, he's been doing this for over 30 years. So he told me, he has investigated probably over 1,000 cases. And I'm sure you can probably read about some of this in the book that you got.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, of those cases, how many involved demons? And he said, out of all of those, maybe 7. And to me, 7 is already a giant number.
But out of 1,000.
Oh, out of 1,000. Yes.
Could be worse.
But still, I was a little, I don't know what I was expecting, but I was like, oh gosh.
Were you wanting to not believe that they were real?
I wanted him to kind of be like, it's really, really, really rare and whatever. And I guess it is.
Yeah.
And then he talked to me about the difference between the major rite of exorcism, which is kind of what you would see in the movie The Exorcist, and you have to get approval from Rome and all of this stuff, and a minor rite of exorcism, which is also performed by a Catholic priest. And he told me that, priests have to do a lot of preparation before they go into these situations.
Of course.
Like days of deep reflection and meditation and praying and all of that kind of stuff, because they have to be in such a state of grace that they cannot be touched or harmed by this. By this entity, right?
Yeah.
So fascinating.
Yeah.
And he told me, he's like, if I come on the podcast, we could talk about this for like 3-4 hours. I was like, oh my gosh.
Whoa.
But this is just a little thing. So I said, okay, what was the one case that really stands out in your mind? And he said he went to this case and it was a residential property. There was a family living there. He went with a priest. So he's supposed to be the subject matter expert here. He's going with this priest. And they begin the minor rite. And Bill said he felt slammed in the chest and he went flying across the room.
Oh my gosh.
He said it was probably 30 feet he flew.
Whoa.
And he said it just felt like he got slammed.
He's a tall guy too.
He's a big guy. Yeah. And then right after that, boom, the priest gets smacked from behind, flies, and goes on top of him.
I hate that.
It is terrifying.
Did he say what happened after that?
I think I was so scared. I think I was like...
He's like, so anyway.
He was like, well, yeah, you're doing great with the podcast.
Oh my gosh.
And I did ask him where it was, and it was in Pennsylvania.
Of course.
Right?
You guys got some weird stuff going on.
I know.
There.
He told me the name of the town and stuff, but I don't know how much, you know what I mean? I don't want to say
No.
But anyway,
There's no need.
And I also don't know when this was, it could have been contemporary. It could have been 30 years ago. Mm-hmm. The point is this is really freaking scary. And this is from somebody who has seen it all.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I said, what do you think it is about the Catholic rite of exorcism that makes it effective?
Yeah.
And he said faith. He was like, faith is what works. Those, the priests who are there and the families and the people involved, they have faith, and that's what overcomes these really dark forces.
I think also it's like a system, not to say like, oh, this is the system that works, but that structure, I think, probably allows people to have a little bit of like comfort and stability in, and the faith, like it all works together. You know what I mean? It's not like a willy-nilly crazy things, or we don't know what's going to happen next or whatever. Like it's a very structured situation.
Step A,
yeah.
Step B, then you do this, then you do this.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's kind of, you know what I mean? I think that
also,
goes hand in hand. Obviously, you could do all those steps, and if you have no faith, then that's not going to work. Right.
Right.
But having that structure allows the people involved also to go, okay, in this terrifying situation, okay, we at least know we know the steps.
Yeah.
It
also probably helps. That's a really interesting point. I think that a framework would help you, because I am sure that that situation would be the scariest thing you could face, right?
Yeah.
And so if you have this sort of guide to follow, then at least you're focused during a time when you're going to be super, heightened emotions and I can't even imagine.
Well, also there aren't very many priests who are trained in doing those rites. And so that's another layer of like, okay, we have a professional person here. You know what I mean? I think it all kind of goes together as like a strong structured package, rather than willy-nilly, oh, let's try this, let's try this. I think that probably leaves room for your faith to falter, like, I don't know, is this working?
Right. And probably too, like the collective push. We're all doing this or saying this prayer or whatever it is at this moment. Like all of that, those people's energy and prayers and whatever are coming together at that moment for that particular thing,
Yeah. And if you are a believer, like it is God. I'm like, that is God. It's not just faith in whatever. It's like faith in God is what's making that thing work. Spooky stuff.
Can't wait to hear more stories from Bill, but also I have been I think about that like 100 times a day. Oh, and I'm like,
you might want to take a little.
Ever since he told me, maybe that's why I'm.
You want to take a little break from that. Do a little meditation on something else.
No, but I mean, it's just really, I think when you talk to somebody who has experienced something like that, it
makes it real.
Yeah. It's a whole different thing than watching a movie or like reading a book or something, right?
Yeah. Yeah. When you meet a real person, and he was like just a real normal kind of guy.
Normal guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, thanks, Bill.
Yeah. Thank you, Bill. Whoa. Thanks for sharing that. I can't wait to read your book. And we can't wait for you to come on the podcast.
Yes.
On the pod.
And thank you to all of you for listening to this episode of the You Two Scare Me podcast. Have you checked out our website, you2scaremepodcast.com? You can find blog posts about our episode, cool photos of us, and links to buy our spooky gear.
Listeners, do you like what you hear? Help us reach more ears by sharing the show with your fellow weirdos, subscribing to our YouTube channel, and joining our Patreon. We now have 4 paid Patreon members and 1 free member. And we love our free member too.
Yes.
Just join our Patreon. Go check it out. Some of our things are paid. You got to have a paid membership to view it. And then some things go out for free. And you can even buy a post. If you just want to look at the one really awesome post, you can buy it.
Cool.
Yeah.
You can also help us by rating and reviewing us on Apple, Spotify, iHeart, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Don't forget to check out our social media. Find us on Instagram at you2scareme_podcast or on our Facebook page, You2Scare You can even follow us on TikTok. Just search You2Scare Podcast. No spaces.
Remember to send us your own spooky stories. Please, 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 please. For our Somebody Told Me segment at you2scaremepodcast@gmail.com. That's YOUTWO scaremepodcast@gmail.com.
Thanks for wandering through the shadows with us.
Until next time, stay curious and beware what lurks beyond the light.